But what if I told you the solution to all of that is literally just one single piece of fabric?
Hmm.
And the secret to how it works comes down to basic physics and optical geometry.
I mean, we've all seen 100 product descriptions while scrolling online, right?
Yeah.
And we usually just look right past the adjectives. We see words like flattering or comfortable, and we just assume, well, that's standard marketing fluff.
Oh, totally. Just buzzwords.
Exactly. But if you stop and actually analyze the mechanics being described in those few sentences, you realize that clothing designers are, they're essentially solving complex engineering problems.
Wait, really? Like engineering?
Yeah, they're using the same principles of tension, weight distribution, and visual geometry that an architect might use, just, with textiles instead of steel.
That is wild. Well, welcome to another deep dive. Today, for you listening right now, we have a mission that might sound incredibly narrow on the surface, but it's actually this brilliant window into how design language works. We are zeroing in on a single, highly descriptive paragraph from our source material.
It's just one paragraph.
Yep, just one. We're looking at a product description for a plus-size wide-leg jumpsuit.
And it really is just a handful of sentences,
Yeah.
but the amount of intentional mechanical design packed into this one short text is surprisingly dense. I mean, by analyzing the specific features they mention here, we can uncover exactly how this piece is engineered to deliver on the very big promises it makes to the consumer.
And the promises are massive. I mean, the text claims this garment offers effortless style and ultimate versatility. So if you've ever looked at a clothing description online and wondered why certain garments immediately make you feel like they would solve all your wardrobe problems, this deep dive is for you.
Yeah, because the text uses language to construct a very specific fantasy for the wearer, but it actually backs up that fantasy with structural details. It's communicating a feeling, sure, but it relies on physical mechanics to get there.
Right, okay, so let's get into it. The text starts with this bold command. It says, step into effortless style.
I love that.
Right, because a jumpsuit is literally something you step into, but they're also telling you to step into this whole persona where you just don't have to try so hard. And then it immediately hits us with the upper half construction.
Tuning the foundation.
Exactly. It says it features a flattering V-neck, crisscross design, and elegant short bell sleeves. Okay, let's unpack this. We see the word flattering thrown around constantly in fashion.
Wait, so when they say flattering here, they aren't just throwing out a buzzword. There's an actual optical trick happening.
Oh, there is a very deliberate visual strategy at play. To understand that whole overarching claim of effortless style, we have to look at the structural design of the top half first, because it sets the visual foundation for the entire look.
Okay, makes sense. So the text pairs highly subjective, aspirational adjectives like flattering and elegant with very specific mechanical design choices. A V-neck is fundamentally an exercise in directing the human eye.
How so? Like, what is the eye actually doing when it looks at a V-neck versus, say, a standard round T-shirt collar?
Well, when you look at horizontal lines like a high, tight crew neck or a boat neck, the human eye naturally tracks side to side.
Right.
It visually widens the frame of the shoulders and the chest. But a V-neck introduces these sharp diagonal lines that meet at a low point. So the human eye is forced to track down and then back up toward the wearer's face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it creates an optical illusion of elongation. It draws the visual focus to the center of the body and up to the face, which effectively lengthens the appearance of the torso.
That makes total sense. So it's literal geometry.
Exactly.
But the text doesn't just stop at a V-neck, right?
Yeah.
It pairs it with a crisscross design. Now I see crisscross and I just think of like a printed pattern. But is that doing structural work too?
Oh, the crisscross is doing immense structural work. In garment engineering, a crisscross bodice implies tension. It mimics a wrap style.
Okay, tension. How does that work?
Well, if you take a flat, non-stretch piece of fabric and you just drape it over a three-dimensional human body, it's going to hang straight down like a box.
Right, it just looks like a sack.
Exactly. It hides the contours of the body. But when you wrap or cross fabric over itself diagonally, you create physical tension. The fabric is actively being pulled gently in opposing directions.
Ah, so the crisscross is a mechanism for shaping the fabric to the wearer. It's pulling the material closer to the natural lines of the torso.
You got it. It allows the fabric to follow the natural contours of the body rather than fighting against them. So it creates visual interest through that structural geometry, but it also solves the physical problem of making a two-dimensional textile fit a three-dimensional form comfortably.
That is so cool. And then the text introduces the elegant short bell sleeves. I want to ask about those sleeves, because we have this very structured, tension-filled bodice
Mhm.
with the crisscross, right? And then suddenly we have a bell sleeve, which sounds, I don't know, loose and voluminous. Why pair those two things together?
Because it's all about the contrast between tension and release.
Tension and release.
Yeah. You have the tailored, intentional tension of the crisscross bodice doing all that structural work of shaping the torso. If you paired that with a tight, restrictive sleeve, the garment might feel really rigid.
Like a piece of stiff formal wear.
Exactly, like something you can't actually move your arms in. By adding a bell sleeve, you introduce a point of release. A bell sleeve flares out. It adds volume and movement to the upper body.
It literally gives the arms room to breathe.
Yes, and it elevates the aesthetic at the same time. The text calls it elegant, which signals to the consumer that despite this being a piece you can supposedly wear every day, the top half is engineered with enough sophistication to elevate the whole look.
It isn't just a basic t-shirt sleeve.
Right. It has drape and drama.
So they are completely hooking you with the architecture of the bodice. They're essentially saying, hey, we have engineered the top half of this garment to do all the hard work for you. The optical illusion of the V-neck, the tension of the crisscross, the dramatic release of the bell sleeve, it's all built in.
You don't have to put any thought into it.
Right. You don't have to figure out how to accessorize it or how to stand to make it look good. Hence, the effortless style they promised in the very first sentence.
And that intentional garment engineering is exactly why these specific features are highlighted first. The consumer's attention is immediately drawn to how the garment will frame their face and torso.
It builds trust right away.
It does. It establishes trust in the design. Once the text has convinced you that the top half is structured and